Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer Online action. We're going to be playing the Warriors of Chaos up against the Empire, so you guys know what that means. It's Big Bird time, yes indeed. We've got the Big Bird himself with Final Transmutation and Plague of Rust for a bit of a cheaper kit, just, some good single target damage. We've also got the Swords of Chaos backing him up for giving him the, 36% physical resistance on top of the 70% missile and 25% magic that he already has. And, of course, the Swords of Chaos are also a very good unit in general. Great armor piercing, flaming attacks, good stuff all around. We've got 4 Chaos Marauders with Aspiring Champions to back them up. We've got 2 of those. 4 Forsaken, 2 on each flank, with one of them, of course, being the Demon Spew. Can't have a Chaos Army without these guys. We've also got 2 Chaos Chariots coming around this flank here for some anti-infantry. We've also got 2 Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes doing a bit of scouting out on each flank. And that's about it for my forces. For my opponent, he does have a captain here, Empire Captain. He's also got a Bright Wizard, interesting. Against Norsca, I would definitely agree with this, or even the Vampires, but I don't think Bright Wizard is a great choice against Chaos, personally. But we'll see. He's got 2 Spearmen with shields, 1 Swordsman, 1 Halberdier, and 1 Greatsword. Also, 1 handgunner and 2 crossbowmen, as well as 1 great cannon here. He's got an Empire general up on a griffin. Also got, 2 Reichsguard and 1 Empire knight here in the forest. So definitely some good heavy shock cavalry support. So let's go ahead and kick things off. He does also have this 1 Outrider way out here in the corner, which I have spotted. And we're going to be detaching these Marauder Horsemen to deal with them shortly, because Marauder Horsemen will pretty much trounce, 22 attack, 22 defense, 24 weapon strength. Versus, these guys only have 17 attack and 13 defense. So definitely the Marauder Horsemen will win that fight if they do manage to catch the Outriders. So over here, this other unit of Marauder Horsemen is just moving up to start throwing some axes at these knights. Definitely not something they want to have any part of, so they're going to give chase, and, we're going to get a bit of a forest chase going on here, but they won't be able to catch my Marauder Horsemen. So we'll go ahead and fast forward as we move the army forward. And, for my opponent's build, Empire versus Chaos is probably one of the tougher matchups for Empire, to be honest. But, we'll talk about a few things here. You can see he's moved his army forward now, which is good. Before, they were way too close to that great cannon. And the only issue is here he's got no real good targets to shoot at. And his infantry line is fairly weak, so they're going to get crushed in a big hurry. He's going to need these Reichsguard and Empire Knights to really change this fight decisively in his favor. And over here, yep, we're just continuing to throw the axes. You can see the chariots now moving up. We did catch these Outriders way out here in the corner and are mopping them up in a rather quick fashion. Over here, we did get the mainline engagement underway, and you can see the Forsaken just cleaving through these 4 Empire State troops in a matter of seconds. We've got the Swords of Chaos punching through on that flank, as well as Big Bird himself, dropping some spells, looks like a Flaming Sword of Ruin being cast here, trying to help the Empire Captain and the General of the Empire, but not going to help a whole lot in this situation with the physical resistance and everything else, and, the Swords of Chaos themselves doing the armor-piercing damage. They're going to be a big trouble for this General of the Empire here. You can see now Final Transmutation going down, and this combined with the armor-piercing damage from the Swords of Chaos is going to get rid of this General in a big hurry. He does pop his Potion of Toughness, but you can see his health is plummeting at a rapid rate. And that cannon as well, maybe doing some friendly fire. He probably wants to retarget it on another part of the battle, but at this point, his line is pretty much crumbled completely on this side. He just has these knights holding out on this flank with the great swords, but they're not going to be able to hold out for this huge kind of Zerg force. And my opponent does admit defeat. So, very quick battle, but figured you guys wanted to see some Big Bird. It's been a while since I felt like I've been able to show him off, so he's really good against the Empire, and in a build like this where you definitely wasn't quite prepared for that. So I would say you need to bring the Lore of Light against Chaos. The Nets of Amantok are just so strong. Granted, this build is not super susceptible to it because it's fairly wide, but yeah. For my side, the Forsaken just mostly mopping up that entire infantry fight. So yeah, it wasn't really that close of a game, but yeah, just if you're a newer player for the Empire, definitely want to bring a light wizard with just the nets. Empire Captain's not going to do a whole lot for you here, so you could cut him. The General of the Empire is a pretty decent choice, but if you cut those guys, you could probably bring a bigger infantry line, maybe some more great swords. I'd probably cut these crossbowmen as well. They're not going to do much for you here, as well as the Outriders. The heavy shock cavalry is definitely good. The Empire has excellent, cost-effective shock cavalry, especially Reichsguard. So that's a decent choice against Chaos. Yeah, it's tough. I would say Chaos is one of the tougher matchups for the Empire right now. But let's go ahead and take a look at another replay, just because that one was a little bit short here. So let's do this. So, another Big Bird replay, except this time he's going to be my opponent, and I'll be taking Norsca, as you can see. We've got Throg, the Troll King, leading the way with the Fimir Balefiend with the Lore of Shadows, 2 Marauder, just regular Marauders with great weapons, 4 Berserkers, one of them being the Brutes of the Hound, of course. We've got a Fimir Warrior with great weapon, the Miststalkers, as well as a unit of Armored Skinwolves, and a Skinwolf Werekin. For my opponent, he's got Big Bird, 3 Marauders, 5 Chaos Warriors with Halberds, which is a fairly interesting choice, 2, let's see, Poison Warhounds, so definitely expecting Javelins, hoping to get into the back and wreck those Javelins with the Warhounds. He's also got 2 units of Dragon Ogres, one of them being the Summoners of Rage Regiment of Renown, so very interesting stuff. Looks like his Big Bird is carrying Final Transmutation, as well as Transmutation of Lead and Metal Shifting. So very, very interesting. I'm curious about these Halberds. Maybe my opponent was expecting lots of Skin Wolves or other things, but, definitely an interesting choice. And, yeah, I'm torn about whether Big Bird is good in this matchup or not, just because the Norskins have a lot of anti-large melee capability, especially these Skin Wolves. They've got the Fimir Warriors with great weapons that have anti-large, lots and lots of anti-large. Throg himself is anti-large armor piercing, so I'm a little bit torn as to whether Big Bird is really super effective in this matchup. I would say that, he's a bit vulnerable here, but, we'll see how it goes for my opponent. We're just bringing up the main line, getting ready to get the combat underway, and even against these, the anti-large armor piercing of the Halberds, the Fimir, when they're sundering the armor and the Berserkers are just tearing them away, it's going to be really, really rough for these Chaos Warriors. You can see this unit already taking a ton of burst damage on the charge and hardly dishing any damage in return. We're going to add an upgraded Withering from the Lore of Shadows Fimir Balefiend, and that's going to continue to tear away the armor. You can see this Chaos Warrior, well, down to only 40 armor. So they're getting carved through by the Brutes of the Hound at a rapid rate, and definitely not cost-effective at all for them. You can see the Hounds trying to find a home, getting into the Marauder Berserkers here, doing some decent damage on the charge, but they're going to get carved up in a big hurry by the high DPS of the Berserkers. Here in the main line, things are just getting kind of carved up by the Fimir and the Berserkers. Just Halberds don't quite have the attack speed to deal with this kind of Zerg. You can see here in the center we've already somewhat broken through. The Dragon Ogres are trying to come in to get some damage done, but Throg is over here. He's matched up onto the onto Big Bird, and it's not a good time for Big Bird. The anti-large armor piercing of Throg is going to cut right through, and he's taking a lot of damage here. Thankfully, he is unbreakable, so I will have to kill him completely. So that's definitely good for my opponent, but he's taking a lot of losses here. You can see a lot of these Chaos Warriors and the Marauders already being routed off. This Chaos Warrior with Halberds has been completely shattered, so very unfortunate. You can see the Dragon Ogres doing a decent amount of damage here, but nothing overly substantial, and they're just not able to save Big Bird. You can see he's being poisoned, or excuse me, those are my opponents, but he's being smacked by the Skin Wolves and the Werekin. They're just continuing to deal that anti-large damage, and Big Bird's definitely very slippery, but he has a hard time against monstrous infantry like the Skin Wolves. So if you can get him trapped in there, you can see the Werekin now coming after him. Looks like he's probably going to kill him, but nope, not quite. Barely squeaks away there, but we will continue to fight this out for a little bit longer. The other issues with the Chaos Warriors with Halberds is they're not immune to terror, and the Miststalkers here, the Fimir Regiment of Renown, they actually do cause terror, so they're able to rout these guys, they do come back fairly quickly, but still, they're not getting any attack animations in during that time. Big Bird switched over to this fight, and we routed off those Chaos Warriors with halberds, so we're going to be pursuing, but this is pretty much going to be it for my opponent here. He's going to get caught by these Skin Wolves here, and let's see. Nope, he actually barely squeaks away there, pushing right through the line, which is what you need to do when you're controlling Big Bird. If you just continually push back and forth through the line, you can kind of get away from these monstrous infantry and other high mass units, but Big Bird is finally caught here, and the Skin Wolves are trying to get some attack animations in on him. He's very, very low, so at this point he charges over here, and you can see another upgraded Withering, just trying to finish off, you know, these Dragon Ogres and so on. Down to 271 for the Everwatcher here, and Throg's got him in his sights. He's angry. He's going to get in there and actually fell the Big Bird, so very, very good stuff. Big Bird's one of my favorite lords. Hard to see him die like that, but, you know, Throg is an absolute champion when it comes to taking down large units like that, so not a huge surprise there. Well played to my opponent. Definitely enjoyed that. Yeah, interesting army. I'm not sure I like the Chaos Warriors with halberds. If he had brought instead maybe 2 Chaos Warriors with great weapons and used the rest for Forsaken, I think it would have been a lot better. Forsaken will win pretty hard against Marauder Berserkers, but you can see my Marauder Berserkers performing very, very well with the synergy with the Fimir, with the armor sundering. So definitely a good synergy there, and able to take out even those anti-large, you know, units, which you traditionally would be very good against the Fimir, which it does actually look like they killed quite a few of the Fimir. But, you know, they were still able to get the armor sundering done, and it just allowed those Berserkers to absolutely mop the floor with those Chaos Warriors. So, very good stuff. These guys got a rank from probably killing the Dragon Ogres as well as Big Bird himself. Throg, of course, being a champion there, and the Fimir Balefiend took quite a bit of damage, but that upgraded the Withering. It's very, very good here. So, well played to my opponent. Hope you guys enjoyed those 2 Big Bird casts. I definitely enjoyed playing them. If you like the content, like and subscribe, and we will see you all next time.